Did you start playing Tekken in Tekken 8? Like, what was your first
I
one?
started like well, my first Tekken was Tekken 4, but I didn't
Hmm.
start putting time into the game until like season 4 of Tekken 7.
Okay. And did you play C back then?
No, I started out with Law and
Okay.
Lee. Yeah.
Okay. And can I ask, when you played last season, what was like, what rank did you get?
I peaked Tekken King.
Tekken King? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you play on pad, stick, leverless?
I play on pad.
Okay. Okay. Cool. How? Okay. I'm gonna make a lobby. We're gonna play a little bit, okay? Because there's some stuff I'm seeing, but I need to test myself a little bit, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So give me 1 second.
Round one. Fight.
like 2 more, then I'm gonna switch characters. We're gonna play a Seed Mirror, okay?
Okay.
Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight.
Okay, yeah. Let me switch characters.
Okay.
Round one. Fight.
play 2 more, then I'm gonna start talking. Okay.
Okay.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. Round 3. Fight. Round 4. Fight. Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight.
Oh my god.
Round 3. Fight.
Okay. So I really kind of like what I like how you're playing right now. As far as like the skills you developed, like, and generally you kind of feel like you've got a lot of technical skill, you just don't know how to use it yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you can react and respond to things correctly, but as far as figuring out like a game, like like how do I win this game? I felt like you're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
lost. You're kind of like doing stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to talk a little bit about how how Tekken matches like are supposed to flow, and why Steve is ridiculous. Okay, so why this
Yeah.
character is good. I want to give you an idea of like how Tekken, how we normally get our wins, and then I'm gonna explain to you why Steve doesn't let people do what they normally like to do, and I'm telling you how to abuse it. Okay. Okay. Decoding the Tekken. All right. So real quick, I just want to I'm gonna talk about some stuff that's gonna sound like basic at first, right? It's gonna sound like I'm dumb with just
Yeah,
saying
no
it,
worries.
but I need to establish this stuff, okay? When so you probably hear people talk about like neutral a lot,
Mhm.
like talk about like neutral game, but no one ever really explains what they mean. They just say they're nice at it, or somebody else sucks at it. Um, what neutral game is actually referring to is this part of the game where like both players like right here, right, and like neither player is at an advantage position or disadvantage position yet, right?
Mhm.
Now the goal of it obviously is to be the guy who gets the advantage, right? When the game is in a neutral state, right? That's what I call neutral game. You are looking for things to turn it into your advantage. In that case, it literally means going in and hitting the other guy, right? Doing whatever your character's offense is, right? Every character has like their own Kazuya mix up kind of guy. The character like Dragunov, like poke characters, right? Hwarang, he does strings. But at the end of the day, go forward, do your thing, right? That's the goal. Now, if I am consistently going in, obviously my opponent is like a human being, right? He's not really gonna just like let me do that. So what happens is if I go in and do my thing, he does keep up moves himself, right? And this happens to a lot of people. They want to go forward, they want to go beat the other guy up, they want to do their character's offense. They run into a keep out launcher or something, right?
Yeah.
Now, keep out launcher by its name is it's keep out, right? It only works if I run into it. If
Yeah.
I choose to not go forward, right? Instead of going in and do my thing, if I just wait, it whiffs, and I get punishes, right? So what I said was, if my opponent's over there waiting, I'm gonna go in and beat him up. If I keep going in and beat him up, my opponent does keep out. If he does keep out, then I start waiting.
Okay.
Kind of like a rock paper scissors kind of deal, okay? Because I start waiting, but it started off with me beating the other guy for waiting, right? So if we think about it, it's waiting loses to aggression, okay? It's aggression loses to keep out, and it's keep out loses to waiting, okay?
Okay.
Now this is kind of rock paper scissors. It's very basic idea of the neutral game, but it's a good starting point, right? Because it tells you, it lets you start paying attention to what high level players are actually doing when they're like around here, right? They're kind of reading what the other guy is doing. You've probably seen Tekken, especially in the older games, people just little dance here, right?
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're not just moving for no reason. They're trying to read what the other guy is going to do at this position. If it's forward movement, they want to put a hitbox on the screen, right? Because you see people dash forward, jab, and stuff like that, right? You want to stop them. You want to stop the other guy from moving in. If it's backwards movement, they go in. That's when you go in and do your thing, your character's offense, right? Poke, whatever. And if it's, if they think the other guy is going to whiff, you keep out, then they just wait and punish, right? That's the idea. Now, that's how it is in theory, okay? But then in execution, different characters have different moves and all that stuff, right? Different ranges, they all have different functions, which is kind of what makes the game more dynamic, right? You see characters that have something like this, Demon Paw, right? Now, these moves, these advancing moves, are very, very annoying to deal with because it's a hitbox, right? So it stops you from moving in. But at the same time, when you try to keep this out, you might just get hit for it, right? Because you sometimes get counter hit by the 442, or you do like a jab and then a whiff because of the spacing and all that stuff, right? So there are these options in this game that cover kind of multiple things, right? This stops people from running in, and it also stops people from pressing buttons. But it loses like sidestep, right? And so Kazuya players or Mishima players in general, like Jin especially, right? They'll start doing Demon Paw. They get the other guy trying to play around them, right? Respecting what they're doing, and then that's when they go in and mix them up. That's when they apply their offense, right? Now, I would talk about Steve. Okay, I just had to establish that real quick because now,
Okay, yeah.
we're talking about coverage options there, right? And how the 442 kind of covers multiple things, right? That's the name of Steve's game. He's Steven Coverage Fox. All right, this is what he does. He goes in and he puts these buttons on the screen. These hitboxes on the screen. And what these do, they're not just, I'm not just doing 1-2-1 because I expect to counter hit my opponent every time. I'm putting this hitbox on the screen because it covers slow keep out. It stops the opponent from doing something slow. It stops the opponent from dashing in and hitting me. It kind of puts them in a little bit of a box, right? And it forces them to, how I just said, like with the Kazuya example of the 4-4-2, it forces, how that forces them to sidestep. 1-2-1 forces people to duck or to high crush or they just try to block it and put the situation after, right? It forces them to kind of respect what you're doing, right? When you see, like when you're fighting my Steve and you watch like Steve videos, especially like Numan and stuff, right? And they're doing all these different moves. It's not because they're always expecting the move to hit, right? More so, they're putting an obstacle on the screen for the opponent to have to play around, right?
Okay.
And how we just talked about that whole neutral thing where the other guy wants to get his turn to do his thing, right? As long as these obstacles are on the screen, he'll never get his turn to do his thing unless he stops you from putting these obstacles on the screen, right? So when you fought my Steve just now, I didn't do that many lows. I didn't do that much unblockable. I didn't do that many lows. I kept it kind of really safe, right? But the struggle was you never got the chance to play the game.
Yeah.
So even though I'm putting these moves on the screen and they're not exactly hitting you, you can't get in a position to hit me. You can't get your damage back unless you beat what I'm doing first, right? That's where Steve shines. He boxes, he throws these hands, and he forces the other guy to respond. And he is one of the best at making those responses also, right? Up back 3, right weave, back 1, down forward 2, counter hit this, all that stuff counter hits, right? So when you're playing Steve, and I want you to be a little less, I guess, hesitant to hop in the driver's seat of the game. That's kind of what he's here to do. Okay,
Right.
He's here to get in control of the game. When you're doing these moves, it's not so much that you want these moves to hit themselves, but you want to see how your opponent is trying to deal with how safe you are. You want to see where they're trying to find their chance to retaliate. When you get hit by someone who's trying to they try to counter hit you or whatever, right? That's perfectly fine. I think you hit me with one of these.
Yeah.
Right? You hit me with one of those. It's okay. I'm kind of hoping you'll do something like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because that's info for later, I guess.
Yeah. It's more so okay, this guy has decided that he is going to respond and take a risk against my timings, against my attack timings, right? You want to be I'm kind of in the lead of this game. I'm controlling this game, and he is responding to what I'm doing. He's trying you were no longer trying to enforce your own gameplay. You were responding to mine. Does that make sense?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And when that's happening, then yeah, it's info for later. Okay, cool. If someone's gambling their whole livelihood in the game on making that hard read, they're gonna lose because they can't just consistently make those reads, right? I can just easily switch up. I can just not press a button there,
Yeah.
right? And he's not looking for in these moments where I stop to press. He's not gonna abuse me because he's not looking for his chance to hit me. He's looking to respond to something. He's looking for me to run into something, right? I can also just use my counter hit button. So when you're playing, I'm gonna put this in actual gameplay, right? I want you to I want you to start playing like you own the game. Okay, you have to.
Yeah.
You gotta play like it's Steve's screen and I'm just living in it. Okay.
Yeah, I think what my kind of thought process is like my past games kind of carry over into my current games, if that makes sense. Like, oh, this guy did this one crazy thing at this like particular situation, so when I'm fighting someone and then I put them in a situation, I'm like, okay, they're probably gonna do the same thing, even though it's a different opponent, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, you can't let that happen, right? This is everybody has to get the layer win, right? Everyone has to get the first layer. You don't want to start putting pause in your gameplay and like hesitating because someone else counter hit you. Right? You're here to read the guy you're fighting right now.
I think another thing too is I'm thinking too linearly, like, or I don't know, mathematically, like, oh, I did something negative, so it's automatically like not my turn. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that was an accident.
Okay. I'm gonna save you a lot of trouble. Use QCF1 more than down forward 1 and down forward 2.
You said what? Oh,
Yeah, the rocket punch. Yeah, use that. It's a much better mid. Trust. Yeah, see? You see it? Now you're doing mids and you're not giving up control of the game.
just
Because you
accidentally
can
get down
always
jab
do
a
it
lot. Oh, that was. No. Oh my god, I'm messing up there.
Okay.
Round 3. Fight.
Oh.
Okay. But yeah, you are right a little bit about the frame advantage thing, right? So you want to make sure you're doing moves that don't explicitly end your turn. It doesn't mean they always have to be plus. The reason I said QCF1 over down forward 1 and down forward 2 is because the QCF1 leaves you in a position where you can right weave the jab, or if they do anything besides jabs, they lose the power push, right? So it's like this kind of ambiguous mind game for them of if they're allowed to press or not after they block it, right?
Fight.
Whereas if I block down for 1, I'm just gonna jab like almost every time.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's also why 2-1 is so good. Because if you're fighting someone who's not ducking at all, then yeah, you get plus.
Okay. And then when they do start ducking, just...
Yeah, exactly. You want to kind of mix it up. You don't really want to wait for them to start ducking. You want to kind of mix up both. Okay. When you're heat, back 1+2 is the answer. Yeah. Slight hesitation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I thrive, right?
That right there is like I said, past games, you know, like, oh, he's gonna rage art or something.
Yeah.
Like people, so many people rage art or something.
Round 3. Fight. Round 1. Fight.
See what I mean? I can turn it for free. That one was you? Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget about my dude.
Round 2. Fight.
See what I mean? The down for so the down forward 2 and the down forward 1 put you in kind of weaker situations. They feel comfortable to press because they're mids,
Yeah.
right? So you don't want to get ducked, but they're very they end up they give up control of the game, which is kind of what you don't want to do.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yes. Yes. Yep. This is good.
Oh, that was on accident.
Okay. This is good. This is actually really good.
Oh.
Because you're fighting against someone else, what's gonna happen is they're gonna mash in these situations. They're gonna do things that you will see how to counter, right?
Okay.
They'll crack a lot easier. When you fight someone who's good, they're gonna block a lot like I am. If they're blocking a lot, then you keep this mixed up, and and then you added some of that while also keeping control of the game. Yep. And now I have to find my way back. I have to find an answer. Look at that. That's 2 hits.
Okay.
Down forward 1. See?
Yeah. I kind of backed off there. Huh?
Yeah. You kind of have to have the downward 1. Let's see. Oh. That was a good round.
Round 4. Fight.
Set that up a lot.
That was really good. That was much better. Obviously,
Yeah, it's gonna take some time to get used to that.
Yeah. But it's like this is like the default, right? Because you see how it sets you up. If you're fighting someone good, and they're respecting your sieve, you try to maintain this pressure while not getting while paying attention to where they want to press their buttons, or where they want to continue to block. And if they continue to block, you add in more pressure, more mix. You use the stances, you use your lows, right? And if you're fighting someone bad, they're just gonna mash a lot and get hit, right?
Yeah.
So it sets you up to learn your opponent and keep control of the game, and reduce the amount of things that can happen to you.
Round 2. Fight. Round 3. Fight.
Ooh.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight.
I'm like forgetting about what song thing. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Round 3. Fight.
Oh. No.
That was a lot better. Even though you lost, right? You were not losing because you were giving up the control of the match, right? It was actually just at that point, right? I was just came down to experience difference, right? Like I'm more comfortable playing at this pace than you are. So to get better at that, you kind of have to go out into the wild and just
do it.
just run this kind of style, run this kind of approach, see what you run into, see what problems you come across, how like what kind of struggles you get, and kind of come up with solutions, right? And the more solutions you come up to certain types of play styles, the faster you'll get at like adapting to those play styles.
Okay.
Like, okay, I run to these guys, and these guys love to mash when they deal with this, right? So you have an answer for that. Then and you develop an answer for that, and then you'll like start to categorize those kind of players a little bit faster, right? The benefit of playing like this is that there's because you are the one in control, and you're saying, hey, you have to respond to what I'm doing. There's only a limited amount of things that can kill you, right? Let me put it like this: if I'm standing still, I'm just waiting on things to happen, then my opponent can do any of their 100 options in their move list, right? And it could work. But if I am attacking with something that covers options like 1-2-1, right, or 2-1 even, then I can only lose a certain amount of things. I can only lose people who match like high crushes, right?
Yeah.
So that alone means that it narrows down what you have to worry about, right? So as you play like this, and you lead with your options, and you set these problems on the table for your opponent, and you say, hey, solve these. You'll start to recognize there's only a limited amount of ways they can like deal with what you're doing, and that makes it so that you can adapt to them faster, and you can figure out what to do faster.
Okay.
Right. Instead of letting them just kind of like freeform do what they want and trying to solve each and every opponent perfectly, it's just a matter of solving how they're dealing with what you're doing, which is way easier.
Okay.
Okay. Some things to look out for when you're playing like this, and you're playing at this speed, and you're still attacking, you're attacking and you're controlling the opponent. You still want to defend smart when you get put in defensive positions, right? So like there are moments where I would jab you out of something, or I down for a 2-1 you out of something, and then because you're still in the mindset like attack, right? You didn't care that you got hit. You kept trying to like swing back still, Flipping that switch is a skill that's important. It's hard. Okay. Trust me, it's hard because usually you're like, when you're like practicing defense, you're like in a defensive mode. You're like waiting. Okay, I'm gonna play my defense stuff here. I'm telling you to attack, control the game. But then when you get hit, revert to defense for a second.
Okay.
That's gonna be a skill. What's up?
So like I feel like I don't know. There's so many characters, right? So I don't know like every character's like strings or whatever frames.
Yeah.
When does that come into play? Like, does that apply to like these ranks, or should I focus on that as well now? Or?
Yes. So it helps to lab. You want to not miss out on free reward and free punishes, right? So your opponent does things that like oh, that was a duckable string or something, right? You want to at least be ready for that, because honestly that applies more at those ranks, at the ranks you're at right now, than the higher ranks, right? Because up in higher ranks people have learned how to win without that stuff. So getting through it, making sure that you're better than those players comes with that you want to be ready for their strings, ready for their punishable moves. Something that really helps doing that is just kind of picking a character a day and just like going through like their strings, that'll help a ton.
Okay, yeah.
Right. I assume you're comfortable with like generally punishing stuff, right?
If I decently, if I know the character.
So yeah, it helps. I think if you're down to do punishment training in general, I think it does help to just go through the characters and here's what I did and here's what I tell people to do. If you're running the problem characters, like this is not something that I think needs to be a priority because you seem to have like the ability to kind of pick up punishment as you play. But if you want to like get over that faster, right? Tekken docs. If you go there and you click on a character, they like you filter the moves by unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like check out their unsafe moves, like set them up in practice mode, just like punish them. Get comfortable doing your punishes, right? That will help. That will help a bit. The other thing you have to deal with is when you're playing to control the game in first to two, you're gonna get beat out doing some stuff, right? Your opponents are gonna hit you, right? They're gonna hit you with like a keep out. They're gonna like mash a hop kick or something in a time that was really dumb.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get hit. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because we just talked about it before, right? Like if someone's doing things that they're kind of like bad risk reward.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of okay getting hit by that stuff in the earlier rounds, right? Because then it's like, oh hey, I could just slightly modify my timing a little bit. I could have just waited a second, or if I just did anything else that was anything else I might have done in that moment, you would have just died, right? That shouldn't have worked. So those things lose over time. You want to get you kind of want to be. I'm in this mindset when I'm playing as Steve in the first few rounds, and I'm just doing stuff, and I can get hit by someone. I'm like, you're doing that for real? Like
Yeah.
like you're gonna lose the game like doing that, and then you just gotta prove it to them that they're gonna lose. That's it.
I think like sometimes in my games I'll recognize like those situations, like okay, they did this, that's kind of crazy, and then like I'll recognize a pattern, but I don't know what it is, like I'm just stubborn or like dumb, I guess, and then I'll run into it again despite knowing that like they did it before. Like I don't know, it's just a player thing. I think I need to like rewire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it takes practice, and it helps to just get a variety of practice in, right? So generally habits like that come out, or you get better at correcting habits like that if you have like a couple of training partners, or if you just play alongside. I think quick match is really good also, for like getting those long sets in. But getting long sets in, it gives you multiple chances to repeat attempts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like okay, this guy keeps doing this pattern, and I see that pattern. I have to force myself to adjust. And that creates some dynamicism in your play.
Yeah, I think part of it too is like my thought process is like, surely they won't do it again. So
no, they
I
will,
give,
bro.
yeah, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, they'll learn from their mistake.
Right.
But yeah, they just do it again, and I end up paying for it.
Now you identify a certain level of play where you can expect some things to repeat and some things to not.
Okay.
So, for the most part, just assume your opponent is dumb until you start. Yeah, if you assume your opponent is dumb, you will be correct like 90% of the time, right?
Okay.
And then learning the other 10% of the time is something else. Okay.
All right,
bro. I have to head out now, bro.
Yeah, you're good.
Hopefully this stuff was helpful.
No, yeah, for sure.
All right, bro.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
thank
man.
you, thank you, you too.